So for Chaviva Bat Gergi, may she have a refuah shlema from everything that we're doing here tonight. Thank you, Ruth, for hosting us for this beautiful event. Thank you, Mom, for starting these events. Amazing, amazing. We all get so much from it. So this is Rosh Chodesh Kislev. Amazing month, the month of miracles. So all of us, I think most of us know the story of Hanukkah, or at least bits and pieces of it, at least the miracle features. We know we have a Hanukkah, we have a menorah, we light for 8 days, the candle. Why do we light 8 days for a candle? Because there was a miracle that happened, miracle upon miracle upon miracle. It was a time when Bnei Israel were not in control of their own homeland, and I think it was the Greeks, right? Yeah. So it was the Greeks who had even come into our Beit HaMikdash. They had desecrated it. They were really like wreaking havoc for our spiritual life. But they did make life easy in other ways. So it was actually easy to lose control, to lose touch with our roots, right? When life gets easy, we end up lessening the bar, and when things get cozy, we stop looking at things that we're supposed to be looking at, right? So there was a small rebellion by one Jew who actually the Greeks took him and told him that he has to convert or serve idols, like bow down to their idols, and he refused. And it was a miracle that he was still alive. He escaped, ran away, and he ended up coming back with a small group of people. His son or sons, Matisyahu, his brother. No, I thought it was his sons. I don't know. So they came back and they had a small rebellion based on the fact that they wanted to stand up and say, enough is enough. We're not going to serve anyone else. Hashem is our Hashem. We want to have sovereignty over ourselves. And it was a crazy miracle that they won, and they were able to take back the Beit HaMikdash because they were fighting the empire. They were fighting an already established sovereignty, who it just doesn't make sense that they would win. A small group of little Jews. So we've seen the same miracle happen many times over. Baruch Hashem, with our state of Eretz Yisrael. We've had the Yom Kippur War, when we were going to be annihilated. Our small little newly established country, people from the Holocaust, people from Baghdad, Iraq, all over, wherever we were, people who were already there, all of us Jews uniting in a small, not a non-developed country. Right? And somehow, thank God, we survived that, and it was a total miracle. There are so many miracle stories individually from different troops. It was, they ended up flying over Sinai, right? And they bombed all of the fighter jets of the enemy. And the next day, the war was over, because when light came forward, no one was able to fight. And that's crazy, because we had all of the Arab countries surrounding us, ready to attack us. So that doesn't make sense. That's not nature. There's some weird stuff happening up in the heavens, right? So another miracle of the Hanukkah story is that when they drove out the Greeks, the underdog, the Jews, a small amount of people, somehow Hashem made it that they were successful against the empire of the Greeks. They took back the temple, and they found among the ruins, one jar of oil, olive oil, which was used to light the artifact that was always standing in the Beit HaMikdash, the menorah. There was always a menorah in the Beit HaMikdash. It was one of those artifacts, and this jug would only last one day. So normally they would have many jugs that the Kohen would light with and refill the candle each day, right? So it was a miracle that when they lit this jug, first of all, a miracle to find a non-broken jug so that they could light the menorah. So the miracle continued happening when they saw, oh my God, thanks God, You're allowing this lighted, this oil to last 8 days. It was an absolute miracle. It completely doesn't sit within the realm of nature, within the realm of reality. Some of us have experience with oil candles. They burn out. They don't just continue staying. Like, if you have a 24-hour glass or if you have a small glass, you know how long it'll burn and it'll evaporate. It'll be used up. So this was a miracle that defied all realms of reality, and that's why it's called a miracle. And we take from that, we celebrate that to remind ourselves that, hey, Am Yisrael, there are people who miracles happen for. There are people who you are not bound and limited by the realm of nature and reality and circumstance. You are not, a Jew is not a victim of circumstance. A Jew who connects to who he really is, the godly soul within him, is capable of changing even all the laws of nature. We know many tzaddikim who literally, who was it? The Baba Sali, I think, somewhere up the line, he missed the boat. And I think the Baba Sali's grandfather or great-grandfather, some rabbi in his lineage, he missed a boat that he had to get on. He was like, okay, thanks Hashem, everything's for a purpose. He took a rug and he put the rug on the water and he floated alongside the boat to his destination. And isn't that funny? Isn't that crazy? He was the first Aladdin. So the laws, and there are so many stories like that. There was a simple Jew who was able to follow a tzaddik running after him. And he put a hanky on the river, just like the tzaddik, he saw the tzaddik do. He was running after him saying, hey, all my papers that you taught me of the Siddur placement where I have to pray Mincha, Shacharit, Amariv, it's all gone, flown away. If I lose all this material, then I'm going to continue praying the way I used to, which is the absolute beginning of the Siddur until the end of the Siddur. Every 3 times a day, he would. Oops. So when the tzaddik turned around and he saw that this simple Jew, a farmer, was running after him, he said, how did you get over the river? I crossed the river. How did you get here? And he said, hey, I just saw what you did. I just copied you. I didn't think too much. And it was like, okay, great. So what you're doing works. Hashem made a miracle for you. You were able to cross the water without anything, without a boat, just on a hanky. So look, we are the people of miracles, okay? And that's a little hard to remember because we're so grounded in a world of physicality, of circumstances that are beyond our control. We are surrounded by people and children and parents and spouses and friends and sisters and siblings, and there's so many different factors in our day-to-day life that end up easily pulling us away from our reality, that we are people of miracles, right? So let us help to find how can we, a little more in our day-to-day, come more in contact with that true self, that true part of us, because every month that Hashem creates, right, has a special primordial spiritual energy that infuses the whole month. This is a month of miracles, so which means that now more than the rest of the year, you can tap in if you choose to. You don't have to tap in, but if you choose to tap in, you can tap into riding this miracle train, right? We can bring it in every single day of the year. Just this month, more than other months, there's an extra force outside of us, so we'll have even more help. Let's ride that wave if we can. Let's try to do this together. So first I want to say, my shir today is based on the amazing work of my teacher, Miriam Yerushalmi. This is one of her latest books, which I bought in golds recently. It's amazing. This takes you through the whole Beit HaMikdash and exactly every single artifact and every single room, just the entire positioning of the Beit HaMikdash, and how we can, within ourselves, use this to come and enter each step by step into our own true Holy of Holies, where our godly soul lies, where this place of miracles lies, this place of being totally unaffected by the world, by circumstance, and totally a giver. Just like God, where God is the giver, the creator, we are meant to be co-creators. So it'll come later. Are you creating positivity, or negativity? So this is what our Chazal, our teachers say. Actually, the Rebbe talks about in this message, in this letter, just that introduction, that we should be looking into ourselves to make ourselves a mikdash. That is one of our missions here in this world, to make ourselves a Beit HaMikdash. So we can find that through going through this book, to be able to express that true self, that godly soul. So I looked through this book and I found about the menorah. Oh wow, thanks Hashem. I literally opened it up right now to it.
Wow.
Yeah, miracles of miracles. That makes my life easier, so I'm not scrambling. Okay, here we have a beautiful picture of the menorah. Okay, stunning picture. Now, if you look at this menorah was actually, if there were no steps, the Kohen would be able to reach. It was, I don't remember exactly, it tells me how many feet tall it was, but it was actually within reach. The Kohen didn't technically need to stand up on a ladder or steps, okay? Nothing in this world is for no reason, especially to do with the Beit HaMikdash or to do with Torah. There's a message behind everything. What's the message for us here? Is that the menorah is the artifact that had to do with sharing, expressing. In fact, it was the light that emanated from the menorah, really like from the Beit HaMikdash within, it went and shone outside into the whole world, right? Which is weird because the windows were pointed in such a way that the light from the outside doesn't come in, the light from the inside goes out, like tunnels out. So the light from the Beit HaMikdash, from our inner sanctuary, is really, really powerful. Has a massive, massive influence, right? So if we look here, also I was reading, if we look at the cups, that like there were the decorations on the menorah, it was pointed downwards, not necessarily pointed up, right? It was pointed downwards, and all of this is to show us that our purpose here, when we're shining our light, is when we're giving. We really need to be in a position of a giver, because that is the godliness. We need to be in a position of somehow achdut, somehow healthy relationships, positive relationships, so that we can have a positive influence. It's not enough just to keep the light for ourselves. It's not enough just to receive all the light that we need for ourselves through. I know I've been hearing on social media and different people's perspectives on, if I'm healed, then I'm mean, right? Like the healed you is a meaner you. I've heard that, which we're going to get into that. But it's not the Torah way at all, bichlal. Because the Torah way, if you're reaching into your godly soul, is the true you. The healed you is a kinder you. It's a you that's able to have boundaries, not barriers, boundaries where you facilitate, in order to facilitate respectful and dignified interactions, right? Things that will help influence goodness in the other, speak to the other person's godly soul within, okay? So how are we, if we're in a position of giving, we learn from the menorah and from the Kohen Gadol, even if we're happy with where we're at, it's not good enough. We actually have to climb up the steps. We have to climb up steps to keep refining ourselves, to keep working on ourselves, to keep bringing in godly information to help us deal with the people in our lives that are difficult, to help us deal with the challenges in our life that are difficult, or within ourselves, to help us deal with the difficulties within ourselves. As a Jew who's wanting to come into their Holy of Holies, this is essential. And the menorah really has to do with how you see. I forgot the exact connection. It's in this book. Please get the book so we can bring together. But it really has to do with how you see. So how you see is very based on what you're putting inside your brain. The menorah has a lot to do with your brain, the information you're putting in. If you're being a conductor and a vessel to receive the Shekhinah, godliness, if you're not actively bringing godliness into your brain, then the opposite will stand true. And that's why we're reminded to keep climbing. Where you are is not the place to be. So to be a parent is a privilege. To be married is a privilege. To be a sister, to be a brother, to be an aunt, a friend, a community member, to be a worker, an employer, an employee, to be any role in the world that there is today is a privilege. It's not a given, it's a privilege. Which means that automatically it's our birthright to be an influencer. It's not something you choose, it's something that's bestowed upon you, right? It sounds so, wow, amazing. Sounds like we're heroes of a big story, right? We literally are, because each of us is here for a mission. We're here to be an influencer in some way or another. So no matter what role you have in your life, or roles, we have many hats. No matter what roles we have, that position in itself is God's telling you that you are here as an influencer. What are you going to create? So you are a co-creator with me, Hashem says to each and every one of us. So what are you going to be creating? Now let's get into this. This is really, really interesting. There's something called generational trauma. I just threw that out there, see what reactions I get. Generational trauma, for those of us